Once upon a time, in a far kingdom called Molo, there lived a king and queen who had a very handsome son who was admired by many in the kingdom. Prince Mali was his name. Prince Mali was so charming and kind, and the palace maids and guides enjoyed serving him. Prince Mali was taken to the best of school. He was well groomed to take over as the future king of the Molo kingdom. Prince Mali loved animals so much, and this made him to participate in horse riding competitions from time to time in the kingdom. One day, as Prince Mali was taking a walk in the kingdom with his horse, he met a stray cat that was very white and furry and cute at the same time, and the cat immediately went round his feet and jumped on his shoulders. The prince then wrapped the cat in his arms for some time, and when it was time to release it to go back to the bush, it became so clinging and it refused to leave the prince. The prince was forced to walk with the cat back to the palace, and once they got to the palace, the cat jumped on the prince's bed and became so comfortable. The prince instructed the maids to clean up the cat and get a beautiful bowl for it. After the cat was clean, the prince walked downstairs with the cat to have dinner. The prince set a bowl of food on the floor for the cat, but the cat jumped on the dining table to sit next to the prince. The prince placed the bowl of food on the table, but the cat didn't eat it. It kept placing its paws on the prince's plate, and the prince was forced to dish the same food for the cat. After dinner, the cat followed the prince to his room and slept right next to him. When the prince noticed the cat was becoming so clinging, he decided to give the cat a name, and he finally named it Pinky. Pinky would follow the prince everywhere, to the stables, for his horse rides, for his nature walks, and the two became great buddies. One day, the king threw a huge ball party and invited all the princes of the neighboring kingdom to meet the prince. It was one of the ways for the prince to finally meet the princess who would become the future queen of the kingdom. Pinky was wrapped in the prince's arm as he walked around to meet the princes of the neighboring kingdom. The prince made an announcement and said,
"Good evening, beautiful maidens. Thank you for honoring my father's invite and coming to meet me. I am honored and humble for the great love, but my only wish is to have a life partner who enjoys doing what I also love doing, and that is riding horses and spending time with the animals. And for this course, let us all meet tomorrow for a horse ride competition, and whoever wins the competition will sit beside me forever and rule as the future queen of this kingdom."
The next day, the entire kingdom gathered to witness the horse riding competition. That morning, the prince looked for Pinky, but he could not find her. The prince then saw Pinky on top of a horse and just smiled. He tried to remove it, but it refused. Pinky then ended up participating in the competition, and funny enough, it ended up being number one. It then jumped on the prince, and they cuddled for quite some time. The prince then reached out to the princess who had won the competition, but Pinky became so angry and jumped on the prince's face and reached out for his lips. Just with one kiss, Pinky turned to a beautiful princess. Everyone was shocked in the crowd, but the prince was more shocked. He covered Pinky and the two walked into the palace. Pinky narrated the whole story of how an evil witch turned her into a cat, and only a true love kiss would break the spell. Prince Mali and Pinky got married, and the two lived happily ever after. The end. If you have enjoyed this story, please remember to give it a like, subscribe, and drop your name on the comment section wherever you're watching us from for me to give you a shout out on the next episode of Wonder Tales by Julian, and share if you can.